YouTube. This is Dr. Wanda. So this must be a special time for me. This is the second video in 1 week. So I'm just going through some personal thought, just things that I want to talk to you about, minus Isaac and minus Gia. These are just things I want to share with you again based off questions that I'm always receiving. So one thing I'm always asked about is land, acquiring land, um, building on land, areas to live once you find some land, where to go look for land, the whole process. Okay, so I want to talk about that this morning. And my advice, and I mean this from the deepest part of me, is to not be in a rush for land. Isaac is in disagreement with me. There'll be many that are in disagreement with me, but I would tell you to not be in a rush to buy land, to not be in a rush to build. What I would tell you is consider the apartment game for a while. Now, the way apartments work here is that you usually have to pay a year or two ahead. Okay, so the apartment I'm living in now was 800 for the year, so that worked out to be um, just under 100 or 100 Ghana, or rather 500 Ghana a month. So it's not that expensive actually. So once you have your apartment, that's it. We pay those things monthly. That's what we pay monthly. Um, and I tried to explain to my husband, he says 800 a year is an expensive apartment. It is for them. It is based off of this economy, but it's not for us coming from the West. So what you get from that is you get a chance to live in a community, have a home, check out how the food works, how transportation works. It gives you an opportunity to live next to the beach, or if you're in a rocky area, the mountains, you can check out how you feel about the weather out there. Is it too cold for you? How is vegetation? What are the shops like? How close are you to a European market? How close are you to getting good produce from farmers? You just get to learn a lot just simply by renting. And I noticed that people don't really talk about renting. Everything is, I'm gonna move there. I'm gonna get me some land. I'm gonna build, and I'm gonna tell you, slow your roll, particularly in Ghana, because the housing market here is shark infested. There is a lot of trickery that goes on with land. Don't Please do not think that the land issue is a small issue for an African. It's not. As much as they will tell you you're welcome home and they can find you land, every person gets paid in that deal. It's not a crystal clear process like it is in the States, where you have a realtor and a broker, and you sit down and have this closing. A lot of stuff have to go through the chiefs. A lot of stuff have to go through the stools. Some of it's government. Everybody is trying to get a little piece out of that American pocket. Okay, so it's not like they're looking at you like, oh, my brother has returned home. I want to make sure that they're comfortable and they can stay, and I'm gonna get them a good piece of land. It's not like that. A matter of fact, you have to know that you have a big giant dollar sign squarely in the middle of your forehead. So, and I don't say that with joy. I say that with a tinge of pain, but I've walked through it now. So I've made peace with it. And I'm the type of person that when I know what it is, I'm cool. I don't care whether it's good or bad. Once I know what I'm facing, I'm good. Where I'm not no good is when I don't understand it. When I'm confused and I don't understand it, that's that intellectual in me. I need this to be logical. I need some reason up in here. So I'm past it. I get it. I get it. Don't let anybody convince you to rush and buy land. You cool. You know, for $2,000, $3,000, you can live comfortably in Ghana in a nice apartment, or you can decide, I like this apartment, now I want another apartment next year. Like, it's up to you, and you can really actually find out a lot more about where you finally want to settle if you do not rush to buy land. The other piece that it gives you is, you can return to the States. You can anchor you an apartment, put the amenities in there the way you would like to, lock it up, go to the States, and come back to your own apartment. You never actually have to be in a hotel in a cry or, being in an Airbnb in someone's house. You can simply get you an apartment and put the amenities in the apartment that you want. And when you're ready to return, you can return. The other piece that you can do is you can get the apartment, and when you're in the apartment, you're in the apartment. But also, as you have family and friends visit or return when you're not here, guess what? They can just simply go to your apartment. I mean, it gives you an advantage if this is a country that you're planning on anchoring in that you probably wouldn't have otherwise, right? So slow your roll on the land game and know that there is a game to it. It's not the game that whites do with us with redlining or um, making, putting sex groups where you can only live here or only live there. There's none of that game goes on. But there's another type of game, which is that there are issues where people have sold land that was owned by six, seven other people. There is a different process when you have to go to court about these things. How do you manage that? What's your time like? What's your money? Because these issues do get dealt with in court. It's not as if the land game here is just a pure, clean, crisp thing. There's also, the issue of contracts. Some of these contracts, honestly, some of them are good for 40 years, some of them are good for 90 years. I know you feel like you black and this is home and these your people. The reality is you're not Ghanaian. So you're always odd man out. You're always foreigner. And if you accept that and know that, now you're not going to get killed because you're black. You're not going to get killed because you got a pug nose. No one's going to make fun of you because you're ethnic. But you best believe that there is some control that Africans want to have over their land. It is a lineage thing. It is a pride thing. It's a cultural thing. That land is just not a small topic here. So I do not own land in Ghana, and I'm in no rush to get land in Ghana. If my husband had it his way, I would have long had land in Ghana. I won't do it. Okay. What I am happy with is I am happy with living in an apartment. I do like the flexibility of being able to sort of move about. This apartment that he got us, I actually like it. It has some stuff that needs to happen here for me to really be comfortable. We have the water tank, but we need a pump. When the water gets too low in the tank, then he has to start fetching water from the tank that's right outside the house. I could have long gotten the tank, but no, if it don't bother you, it don't bother me. But it has a toilet and a nice shower. We have a kitchen. I had some cabinets built in here. So, there's some other things I could do to make the apartment nicer, but it's definitely okay living. It's comparable to the average apartment you would find in the U.S., minus a few glitches here or there. There's nothing wrong with that. I like apartment living. I don't have a problem with it. My thing is, I want to come to my space with my things and be safe and secure, and this apartment affords me that. So, yeah, I want to tell you that. Now, I do own land in Tanzania, and I acquired that land through, there it was far simpler. The same work I've done in Ghana in terms of serving the people, I did just as much, if not more, in Tanzania, and they wanted to help me get land as family, and they did that. The price of the land was far cheaper, inexpensive, and the supports there were different because you're talking the East African in terms of hospitality is different from the West African. So this is a continent of 54 sovereign nations. Each group is not like the other, and never have that illusion. So that's the other thing. If you rent, that gives you an opportunity to get on a plane and fly to Rwanda, fly to Tanzania, fly to Gambia, fly to some of the other places on the continent and see if maybe those countries fit you better. And you're not locked into anything. You get the right to explore and see. So my land there is beautiful. I have just under 2 acres. I've shared it with 4 other women and one family. And what I was interested in is the traditional house building roundhouses. To date, my roundhouse is complete. And my team's roundhouses are mostly complete except for one. She don't have her roof, and she's working on it. Because I shared my land, but I let them, and I require that we build a similar house in order for space to be distributed fairly. And yeah, but the women get to build their house at their pace, at their financial pace, at their leisure. And we respect one another, and it's been an amazingly seamless experience. The benefit to the natives is that they're working. There's an income coming in, they're working, they're excited to be working, and these are skilled builders. They know how to build a house. The African know how to do it all. He can farm, he can build, he can weave, he can bead, he can braid, he can do it all. He can cook, he can do it all. And I let those skilled professionals do their thing. So that's what I'll say about that. Um, and I don't fold on that. Where I could have taken my stimulus and used it to get land here again, and if it's not seamless, if it's not peaceful, if it becomes too much of pay that, where you can feel that you're being fed on, until it's smooth with me, I'm not really interested in land in Ghana. I have a friend, I love her dearly, who I've who I built a relationship in the process, who has land out in Kamasi. This is her land. She owns the land. The paperwork on that is good. She was sending money back to a family. Loved her, had always been good to her when she was visiting in order to build. What they built for her was junk. It's inhabitable. It's rotten. The bricks they use are rotten mortar, the cheapest of everything, and she still owns the land. At the end of the day, we're gonna have to have that land leveled off, and she'll have to decide what she wants to do with it. She has welcomed me while I'm here if I want to do something with the land. The thing is, Kamasi is not my turf. I'm not really trying to be out in Kamasi, but I am gonna go and help manage her land. But her story is a cautionary tale. Even the people that love you, when you're sending money to them, if you're not boots on the ground, can mistreat you. And this is here in Ghana. So um, she also has built to my partner building in Tanzania, and the experience for her was night and day. The same is true for a property that she's having built in Gambia, which is a part of Africa that she loves to go to. The experience for her is night and day. The only other place I've ever considered building was Uganda, and when that looked, shark infested and choppy, I left it. So follow your instincts. You get this third eye for a reason. Your intuition and your own instincts, and it either feels right or it doesn't. But also understand the legal ease of how these countries work. When you have problems, the issue of getting the land may not be the problem. It's everything after you sign on that dotted line. What's coming your way? How can you get water? How well can the trucks get to you? Who's going to build, and what is that team like? How much money is actually going to go into this process? So some people are dealing with it in groups. Where people are making these gated communities. I'm a person that doesn't want to be gated with other Americans. I would like to live in the country and come to know the people and become, live amongst the people. So that's my choice. I don't knock people who decide, look, I want to be with my own, and when I want to deal with being out and about, that's what I do. That's fair. But I'm going to still tell you, no matter which choice you're making, a gated community or you're deciding to seek out land, I'm going to say slow your roll. Slow your roll. There's no rush. Your life will be just as fulfilling in an apartment as in many ways, as it would land, unless you're talking about having build growing agriculture, or having, say, like a snail farm, or having fish, or you trying to do a piggery, or unless you're trying to do something big like that, you'll do fine. You'll be fine and have just as much quality of life in an apartment. So that's my tip for the day. And as I think of them, I'm gonna probably do a couple more videos throughout the week. Peace and progress.